Today we're playing Luigi's Mansion. In Luigi's Mansion, you play as Luigi, who has to rescue Mario from a haunted mansion filled with ghosts and led by King Boo. The speedrun for this game is the any % no out of bounds run, which requires us to beat the game without going out of bounds. In order to start the speedrun or be somewhat competitive, we have to complete the game once so that our vacuum will be 1.5 times stronger, which will make the run that much easier. The game starts off with us spawning in the main foyer of the mansion. We head upstairs to the first set of double doors, and here as well as all throughout the speedrun, we always want to open the left door so that Luigi will push instead of pull the door, which will lose about a second each time. Once in this room, we encounter the first set of ghosts, and to catch the ghost in this game, we always want to pull in the direction opposite of the ghost in order to suck it up. After sucking up the ghost, we get the key, head into the next room, and then capture a few more ghosts. In many situations, there are going to be multiple ghosts spawning at the same time, and if we position ourselves correctly, we can suck up both at the same time. We then head into the next room and head to the left wardrobe so we can spawn and capture the garbage ghost. After clearing this room, we get another key and then backtrack our way back to the upstairs of the main room. We then head to the left door where we are warned by Egad that there are portrait ghosts that are ahead. Portrait ghosts are the boss style ghosts that each have a unique style of attacking and are only found once each. The first guy isn't too bad and we suck him up fairly easily. We then head to the bedroom on the very left of the hallway, open up the curtain on the window letting the wind in, and expose the next ghost. We then suck her up and get the next key, and then after leaving the bedroom we get a cutscene and head to the very first boss of the game. The first boss is Chauncey, and what we have to do is move the rocking horse in the room, which will summon the first phase. We then suck the ball up and shoot Chauncey in the face. He then gets mad and shrinks us down and takes us to his arena, which is his crib, and the best way to beat Chauncey is to hug the right side immediately, dodge the rocking chairs that come at us, and then wait for the beach balls to come flying at us. Once the balls come at us, we suck one up, shoot it at Chauncey, and then start sucking him up. One time save that we want to do in the Chauncey fight is to make sure we keep him above 50 health on the first cycle. If we get him below 50, he will send an extra wave of rocking horses, losing us a couple of seconds. For the second cycle, we repeat the same as the first, dodge the horses, catch the beach ball, and then suck him up. And that's the end of the first major area. We loot the chest and grab the key to the next area, and this is the first downtime section of the run. After each major boss, we send them to Egad and turn them back into portraits, which is about a minute of downtime for each one. We then respawn back in the main foyer and use the key to open up the main door to get to the Area 2. Once entering Area 2, we enter the hallway and immediately want to turn our flashlight up towards the ceiling. Any ghost spawn point can be prevented as long as we are pointing our flashlight towards it, so any of the ceiling ghosts that scare us and cause us to stop moving can be prevented if we just prevent them from spawning. We then head through the hallway and head into the bathroom, suck up two of the grabber ghosts that spawn, and then grab the key on the shelf. We then move through the hallway while preventing any spawns and head into the ballroom. In this room, we encounter the Shy Guy ghosts that we have to suck off their masks first before being able to capture them, and then after sucking up 3 sets of the Shy Guys, we get the first RNG section of the run. The 2 dancing ghosts will spawn, and then in a random amount of time, we'll expose their hearts, allowing us to suck them up, and after capturing them, we open up another chest, grab the next key, and then head into the storage room. After sucking up the first ghost there's a thing called the poster skip that we can perform by positioning ourselves in the top left corner, and then sucking towards the left and pull the poster off the wall. After clearing the room, there is a button visible in the mirror. We press it and it opens up the wall to the left. If the poster skip was successful, there won't be a poster blocking this button, which can save a couple of seconds. But after pressing the button, we release all of the 50 boos into the mansion, as well as King Boo himself. Egad calls us and is pissed off for releasing all the boos, and now we have an additional task of sucking up all the boos in the mansion. We then are sent back to the foyer and head back upstairs, and now we're going to catch 5 boos before proceeding to the next area. In each room, our little blinking light on the phone will blink yellow if there's a boo in the room, and then if it starts to blink red, we know a boo is close by. Now, a huge strategy for this game that saves minutes of times across the whole run is called R-pumping, and what that does is it keeps the boos in place while sucking them up so that they cannot escape and run into another room. The way to R-pump is to hold down the L button and then tap the R button every few seconds. I was not that great at this tactic, but when I pulled it off, it definitely helped with each one I got. After sucking up 3 boos in this area, we use the mirror in the closet to mirror warp back to the foyer. One other thing is that after catching each boo, we have the option to save, and if you run this game a lot and are pretty experienced, saving will just waste you some time, but if you're a beginner, it's probably safe to save every now and then so that you don't get sent super far back in case you die. And after sucking up 5 boos, we head to the hallway and head back to the other bathroom, which is now unlocked, and get a key from the toilet. After grabbing the key, we mirror warp to the foyer, head back into the hallway, and move all the way to the right. We then head into the mirror room where we have to suck up a bunch of grabber ghosts that can only spawn in the mirror. After clearing out this room, we grab the fire medallion and we suck up fire from the torch. Using the fire, we have to light the candles in the room in order to leave. We then light the candles in the following room, which will give us a key. And after grabbing the key, we head down the hallway to find the butler, and once finding the butler, we use the fire that we just got to light the butler's candles. When lighting his candles, he will get angry and head to his room, and once he gets to his room, he will sit down. We then suck him up, which gives us another key. We then go through the mouse hole on the right side of the room, suck up the ghosts, and then we get the chest. These ghosts have an elemental barrier that we have to burn before sucking, and after clearing the room, we find ourselves another boo. We head back into the butler's room after sucking it up. We then make our way through the hallway and go to the music room to face the next portrait ghost, and in order to spawn her, we have to activate every instrument. We then guess the song she is playing, burn the notes flying in the air, and then suck her up once she gets mad. We then grab the key and head back into the hallway, and then we make our way through the dining room and into the kitchen in order to get the water element out of the chest after clearing the room. We then suck the water out of the sink and then put the fire out to the door on the left, and then once outside we wake up Spooky the dog as well as the Bone Man. We suck up the Bone Man, use his bone to distract Spooky, and then suck up Spooky as well. Now that Spooky is taken care of, we can warp through Spooky's doghouse and head to the cemetery, which leads us to the portrait boss of Area 2, Bogmire. In Bogmire's fight, we suck up his shadow, shoot at him, and then suck him up. More advanced runners can do this in one cycle, but if not, the same strategy applies. We just continue to get the shadow, shoot it at Bogmire, and then suck him up until we capture him, which finishes off Area 2. We head back to Egad to turn Bogmire back into a portrait, and then go back to the foyer. We go back through the hallway, which is now lit up so we don't have to worry about the ceiling ghosts anymore, and then we head to the back door, which is now unlocked, and head out to the courtyard. We head down the well and peek through the lion head, which triggers a cutscene showing Mario who's stuck in a portrait. Now that we know where Mario is, we grab a key in the bottom of the well, climb out, and start finding some of Mario's lost items. We open up the mailbox to get Mario's letter, and then we go into the weightlifting room to see the weightlifting portrait ghost. Even though this ghost is a portrait ghost, we don't actually have to capture it. Some of the portrait ghosts in this game only reward us with money, so we can just skip him, and then we run on the treadmill to grab a key so we can unlock the door between Area 2 and Area 3 so that we don't have to keep going outside. We then head upstairs and go into the other dining room. We step on the pad that sends us to the ceiling, drop onto the table, and then grab the ice element. These can be used to freeze boos when trying to suck them up, as well as help us with the Area 3 boss. We then keep moving forward in the second floor, head to the bathroom, and then suck up the lady who is taking a shower, which gives us a key unlocking the door to the billiards room. We then head right across the hall, find the granny ghost, and suck up all of her yarn balls, and then shoot her with them until she gets angry, in which we can just suck her up, giving us another key. After grabbing the boo in Granny's room, we grab some fire and head to the candle room to light all the candles. After lighting all the candles, a couple of waves of ghosts will spawn. We suck them all up and grab the boo hiding in the room. We then head to the observatory, use the telescope to look at the moon, and then we shoot a comet at the moon, which blows it up, opening up a walkway that leads to the third Mario item, which is his star. We then head back to the billiard room, which contains another optional boss, but we can just skip through and go into the theater room that has some ghosts that we have to suck up. The ghosts in this room we can only see the shadows of, but once sucking them up, we clear the room and grab the next Mario item out of the chest. We then warp back to the foyer, head to the first area, and grab all the boos that we missed earlier, and after grabbing all the boos, we head into the twins' room. The twins ask to play hide and seek, so we leave the room, head back in, and then we open up the box they're hiding in. The way to find which box they are in are the boxes that shake whenever we use the vacuum, and after we find them, they start to attack us with their toy car and toy plane. We suck up the car first and then the plane to get the next Mario item, and now we warp back to the foyer and take all of Mario's items to the fortune teller. After talking to her for what feels like forever, she willingly gives herself up and lets us suck her up, giving us another key. We head back upstairs, grab some ice, and then go into the safari room in the attic. And to activate this room, we have to interact with the deer heads. We then use the ice on the elemental ghosts, suck them up, and eventually clear out the room, giving us another key. At this point, we're at the boss of Area 3, but in order to face him, we have to have at least 20 boos captured. So since we didn't successfully catch a couple earlier, we have to backtrack and find a few more before we head to the balcony to fight Boolossus. Once outside, we head to the circle of boos that form into Boolossus, and I don't know why, but this boss I couldn't really get the hang of, but basically the way to kill him is to lure him into the unicorn horn, which will pop him into a dozen of boos. We then have to freeze the boos and suck them up off the ground. Now this can be done in one cycle by lining all the boos up, shooting them with the ice all at once, and then getting them all, but every time I tried, the boos kept running around and essentially making it really hard for me to land any ice on them. So it took me a few cycles to freeze and suck them all up, but eventually I got it done. But after getting the last boo, we get the key to the next area, turn Boolossus back into a portrait, and then make our way to the final area. We head back to where we fought Boolossus, open up the door on the left, and once the door unlocks, the entire mansion goes dark. Now that all the lights are off, all the rooms are riddled with ghosts, so just like before, we have to aim our flashlight at all the spawn points so that we can navigate without being stopped. Once making our way back to the foyer, we go all the way back to the first wardrobe room in Area 1, and this ghost has the worst RNG in the game. He stands in front of the mirror, and the time for him to expose his heart is anywhere between 0 and 45 seconds, which this late in the run can make or break someone's run that has a good pace. Luckily, we don't have to wait too long, and suck him up, giving us another key. We then head down to the basement and use the key to open up the power room, and then we turn the lights back on at the breaker. We grab the key out of the power room that takes us to the cellar, we then suck up all the ghosts in this room, grab another key, and then head back to the top of the mansion. Once on the top floor, we head to the toy room to get some more portrait ghosts, and these ghosts have a toy gun that can damage us and knock us back, but all we have to do is sidestep the guns and suck them up one by one. After clearing the room, we go to the elevator in the middle house, and then head to the rooftop. On the rooftops, there are 6 shy guys that we can either burn or suck up, followed by a couple frozen ghosts, which will give us another chest. We climb the ladder to the chimney, grab the key, and then head back down the elevator. We then head to the armory room, shake the suits of armor, spawning all the ghosts in the room, and continue doing that until the room clears up, giving us even another key. After the armory room, we head all the way back down to the basement, go into the boiler room, turn off the waterfall, and grab the key that'll give us the key to unlock the freezer. In the freezer room, we find another portrait ghost, but we have to burn his barrier down to expose him. We then suck him up while dodging any falling icicles. We then backtrack once more all the way to the top floor and headed to the painter's room to face off against Van Gore. This portrait room makes us fight every single one of the normal ghosts that we have seen throughout the run, before eventually letting us suck up the artist himself, giving us the last key we need before going to the final boss. And up until this point, similar to the Boolossus fight, we're required to have a certain amount of booze in order to pass. And since I'm not the best at R-pumping on the booze, I had to do a bit of backtracking to get up to the 40 boo count. And once collecting 40 boos, we head back to the basement and headed to the room where we saw Mario earlier when we went down the well. Once in that room, we see King Boo, who warps us into his area and also embodies Bowser for some reason. In the King Boo fight, we hide from the fire attack, suck up the spike balls he throws at us, and then shoot him whenever he is leaning forward. Once hitting Bowser in the face, King Boo will fly out, in which we have a decent amount of time to suck him up, all while dodging Bowser, who is shooting ice at us. Once getting him below 200 health, he will go into his next phase, where he runs around like a maniac and wastes a bit of time, but similar to before, we wait for the spike balls, shoot Bowser in the face, and then suck up King Boo until we capture him, which stops our time. And that's the speedrun for Luigi's Mansion. It's a pretty fun speedrun with a bit of RNG and some frustration with the boos, but once practicing a bit, it's definitely one I recommend trying out. If you like seeing these speedruns, leave a like, and subscribe if you want to see more speedruns. Thanks for watching.